All right, everyone. Welcome back to another live for Card Psychology. I'm just doing the live because I had written in my Substack about the symbols behind playing cards, and I want to go through some of those. So just give me a minute. Let me set up this mic here. Make sure we're going. We're going? All right. I think we are live now. A minute. Okay. Just want to see it on my end. Give me a minute. Ah, got it. Okay. All right, guys. So I want to go through real quickly the symbols behind playing cards. As you know, there's 52 days, 52 weeks, 52 cards, 4 suits, 4 seasons, 13 cards in each suit, 13 weeks in each season. Adding up all the cards, the face values, you get 364, and then the Joker is 1 1/4, 5/4, so that's 365 1/4. So basically, it's a blueprint for our everyday living, for our calendar here on Earth. So when you get your birth card and your karma cards and the cards in your life path, they basically provide an energetic blueprint that's upon us every day. All right, so we're just going to go from ace to 13 to king. So ace is an ace, right? So they're single. They have 1 pip on their card, and because of that, their worldview is such that they really think about themselves. And they're here to really plant like the seed of, in the club's case, knowledge. For spades, they're here to plant a new seed of consciousness. For hearts, they're here to bring forth new love. So ace is like the beginning. It has a lot of Aries energy generally. Their goals in this life is really to work on self and to also work on self-confidence, self-love, self-knowledge, self-value. And, their goal is to bring something out of nothing. When you look at a lot of their karmas, they have issues with compromise, which is really just a difference between their needs versus other people's needs. The ace thinks of one. So they're here to kind of learn about themselves and start off things. The 2 is the partner card. So, we go from the ace who thinks about themselves to the number 2. And the number 2 is really here to learn not to be codependent, but keep the space in the middle as like a synergetic space. So we need synergy, we need interdependence, not too close, not too far, keeps the partnership successful. 2s are also known as fear cards. A lot of times they get stuck in bad relationships. They think of the relationship first. So if the ace is saying I think, the partner card is saying we think. But they're really here to create harmony and balance and create partnerships, whether it's of value for financial reasons or For spades, it would be conscious partnerships, focused on the spiritual or work partnerships. So they're here as a partnership. All right, 3. So in this case, the 3 of hearts, I think you can see there are 3 pips, and this bottom pip is facing a different direction than the other 2. So 3 always is speaking of indecision or variety, and a lot of them are very creative and artistic. So you have 2 pips going in one direction, 1 in the other. They're here to figure out how to line up all their hearts, clubs, diamonds, spades in a row. One way to look at this is look at it as a compass. So if you're a 3 of hearts and you're struggling, you want to line up, you want to really feel what your heart is telling you and line up those feelings so that you get over the indecision. For the clubs, you almost want to use this straight line as antenna to download ideas that keep your mind going in a straight line. With diamonds, it would be indecision or insecurity in finances. So we want to make sure that you're picking a direction and going in that direction. Sometimes it can mean working 2 jobs, but diamonds also represents trusting your gut feelings. So we want to really line up what our stomach is saying if we're a diamond. And then for the spades, they need to kind of take a more spiritual approach and meditate, line up what their consciousness is thinking, what messages they're getting. And then on the mundane level, it can mean indecision in work, working 2 jobs, 2 different lifestyles, that type of thing. But if the 3 is ever struggling, the goal for them is to embrace the variety, embrace their creative energies, and see where that leads them, see where the straight line goes. There's a lot of Gemini energy here with it being a 3 and Gemini ruling the 3rd house. It adds from the 2, so you have a 2, you have a partnership, and now you have this 3rd that really seeks to add or improve the experience of the 2. 4. So when we look at the 4, we think of a safe structure. We think of a box. These people are very strong. They have good foundations, organization, and they're very security-minded. So they make decisions rooted in security. They may play it safe. They may lock themselves up in this box. And for many of them, we want to make sure this box is not confining or stuffy, right? So a lot of the 4s have karmas of 5s, which would force them to step outside of the box of safety and expand a little bit. This is a struggle card. They have to work hard in their life, no matter what it is, whether it's hearts, clubs, spades, diamonds. But they're the builders of a society. They can manage. If you give your kid Legos and they're a 4, they'll build something great. So, for the 4, we just look at stepping outside of the box a little bit, not being so close-minded, not being so stubborn in our thoughts, in our lifestyle, and that's kind of how they play those cards right. Go to the energy of the 5. So the 5 steps out from the box, the safe box of 4, and we get the 5. 5 is adventure. 5 is where X marks the spot. These people are here to really explore and find, as it pertains to their suit, that treasure. So, for hearts, it could be relationships, clubs, it could be ideas, thoughts, diamonds, new things, acquiring new things, finding treasure, literally treasure. And for spades, it's different forms of consciousness, new philosophies, reinventions of it. So the 5 is here for experience. They're here to expand and discover. They're super restless. They have a lot of ADD tendencies. They're usually dissatisfied once they do find that treasure, which keeps them spinning their wheels going forward. And then if you think about the 4 needing security, think of that box. The 5 needs freedom. So the 5, huge issues with them is their need for freedom. The 5, talks of experience. Think about even our life here, 5 fingers, 5 holes on our face. We want to experience, the 5 senses, things in life. So they're the pioneers, they explore new things, and they definitely have authority issues because of their need for freedom. For 5 of clubs specifically and 5 of hearts, very difficult relationship cards, because oftentimes, even if they think they're ready for a relationship, they're going to jump into something that with someone that's probably not available, whether they're, say, married, or it's a secret affair, or they're just not emotionally there. A lot of times they pick partners so that they can maintain that freedom. Taylor Swift is a 5 of clubs. For a long time, she was experiencing different partners and dissatisfied in her love life. The karma card for the 5 of clubs is a 5 of hearts, so it makes it even. It's like a double dosage of 5. Okay, 6. So the 6s are really here to align and balance. They're like the judges of our society. The symbology is the 2 lines acting as a mirror for us to really accept ourselves in whatever the suit is calling. So when you see these cards pop up in your spread, there's going to be some responsibility that's needed, say, in finances with diamonds, or in love with hearts, or with how we speak to people with clubs. So there's a lot of, you want to shift to being responsible when you see the 6, but at the same time, they're here to show you your mistakes, your karma, your responsibility, and it really does act like a mirror and help you come to some type of self-acceptance and unconditional love or acceptance for yourself. A lot of 6s too here are here on this earth for a special purpose. They feel it. It takes them a long time to figure out what it is. The 6 can kind of get into a rut like a train, right? So train can't just make a right turn, make a left turn. The train is on the tracks and it needs to slow down. So there is some symbology in train tracks. The other symbology for 6s is not to be so inflexible at times and kind of act like a building that's swaying in the wind, so that they can maintain their structure. So there's a lot going on with the 6 in terms of like how long it takes for them to get going. Sometimes they can just feel like they're in a holding pattern. They make great competitors. 6 people are really out for revenge a lot of times. Think about karma, the number of 6. So they don't forget. And they can definitely hurt people with the revenge, but they're also super psychic. The 6 can tune in to the universe. They can use psychic abilities. There's a lot of Saturn energy here, and there's a lot of karmic, if it's a hearts, there could be karmic relationships, or 6 of spades, karmic health issues that come into play here. All right, we're going to go to 7. 7 is exactly in the middle of the spread. It's the most spiritual number. 52 cards, 5 plus 2 is 7, 7 days of the week. It has some Uranus energy, a little unpredictability. There's flip-flopping involved. It's the only asymmetrical symbology that we have. So, all the other cards, if you flip them, they would be equal. They would be symmetrical, but not the 7. So there's some symbology to the 7 here, where there's a cup, and with any 7, you're going to have to take an unattached view, not attached view to the outcomes, to stop trying to control things in relationships, let's say, for the 7 of hearts. And when you stop trying to control, you're unattached, and you take a more spiritual approach to love. And that's what the 7 really speaks about, is this adjusting and pivoting. So we're pivoting to get ahead of the curve of the 7, of this pip here, and become more spiritual. 7s and 9s are very spiritual numbers, and when they play that side of the card, the spiritual side, they reap spiritual rewards, but they also get them on the mundane level. It doesn't go the other way. And a lot of 7s are going to have bipolar tendencies because of this pip right here. So a lot of 7 of hearts They could be bipolar. They can also have a huge fear of abandonment. And, their feelings could flip from like super low to super high. I could be really happy, lighthearted, on top of the world, to I feel low and depressed. When they feel that way, their goal is to fill up their cup of love with what really makes them happy and with what they love. That's the goal. And it's the same thing with the Seven of Clubs. They have to get away from a pessimistic mind and they have to fill up their cup with what mentally, satisfies them. With spades, that might be conscious stuff. With diamonds, that might be that's usually a relationship with money, and understanding that they're always protected and they'll always have enough as a 7. So 7s are here to pivot and adjust, a little bipolar, up and down, but they're also the teachers of our society. So when they teach and they can share knowledge with others or share love, they are rewarded in the mundane world as well. 8. Superpower number here. There's some Pluto energy here. There's also some Neptune based on... So the 8 is the warrior, the leader, the CEO. They're great healers. The symbology we get from the 8 is that they come into this life with a lot of power, and they can use that power wisely for good, or they can abuse it. And a lot of their karmas are the 7s. So we just talked about the 7s having control issues. The 8s can have control issues and manipulate. And what we're really looking for, instead of like forcing something, forcing our will, like spades could be your will, hearts could be manipulating people in relationships. We want to be graceful, like a figure skater, and make that figure 8. There's more power that comes with being graceful, especially when you're not trying to control it. The other symbology is like a woven basket. You want the space in between this basket for air it out, and you don't want to tighten it too much, because if you tighten it, you're going to get, your heart will be, stuck in knots. You won't feel good physically, and you'll feel like, you're trying to control stuff. So the 8s are here to use their power for good, bring healing, bring flow, like the chi of life. Like when you leave space in between, you leave space for energy and good energy to flow through you. And that's what we're looking for, is space, not controlling, and using it for good. The 8 of Hearts are good healers. They could heal you just with their love. The 8 of Clubs have a very powerful mind. Their mental power, they can weave together knowledge for all of society. The 8 of Diamonds is the Leo card of the deck. That's Michael Jordan card, I call it, the Sun card. These people are physically powerful. They could help you make a lot of money. They could be tenacious. And then the 8 of Spades is workaholic card if they play the low side of it, but they could have visionary conscious and also be great like holistic healers, very psychic as well. Any spade, really. So 8's here to use power wisely, don't abuse it. Now to the 9s. The 9s are represented by a ladder, so we start in the middle, whereas with the 7 we're either high or low. The 9 starts off in the middle. We can climb this ladder up to the heavens, we can climb down into hell. A lot of 9s are known for being super depressive, so they can feel really depressed, climb down this ladder, very negative feeling, and they do this when they feel that they're the ones that are giving or showing up all the time and not receiving anything in return. They feel very victimized, they feel slighted, and the magic for them is to figure out that they're here in this life to let go, to forgive, and once they start doing that spiritually, they're going to climb up and they're going to be rewarded in the mundane. They definitely have a tough life path, many of them, and they're here to kind of experience like that dread, that the 9s just they have to learn to let go. They're here to forgive, and a lot of it comes from, a past life of being on the opposite side of this. Perhaps taking, perhaps having a karma of power and receiving things easily. And now they're here kind of at times in a life of drudgery. And they're here to get out of that victim card. So when you think of 9, think of universal knowledge, think of universal giving. When they do things that are good for the universal, for us universally, that's when they get rewarded. So it doesn't go the other way. They have to do it for the world, for other people. They have to give their knowledge. For clubs, for hearts, they have to give their love unconditionally. Diamonds, things of value or values alone. And they have to give to others, and then they will reap those rewards just for giving. Tough life paths, though. 10. All right, so when we look at the 10s, we see a couple things. First of all, 10s are here to radiate and shine. When we think of the 10, we could think of the strongest structure in nature, the honeycomb. It's hollow, but it's very strong. It's an efficient use of materials. And what we're looking for is to leave space in between all these pips. For me, it also means that, the 10 of diamonds specifically is like a spotlight. When a 10 of diamonds walks into a room, everyone sees them. It's like they're light up. It's like they have 10 diamonds on their skin. They glow, they radiate. So they're going to be the center of attention in a lot of ways too. And it's not a surprise because in the grand solar spread, they're right in the middle of the spread. Get that spread for you. Look, they're right in the middle. So, the 10 has problems with that is that a lot of times they're in the middle of things. They don't take time for themselves. So this is kind of their reminder to give space for themselves and to not always be double-crossing themselves. If you put this symbology over a 10 of hearts, they're very social, but you could see them going back and forth, back and forth. If you have the clubs, especially in their mind is very active. Their thoughts are going to swing back and forth wildly as well. They can't turn it off. So the goal is to take space, and they'll be really successful that way. We're also in a 10 of hearts week, by the way. 10 of hearts, go back to the spread, is in the Jupiter column. Its karma is the Jack of clubs. I'll tell you why that's important. That's their karma. So you have the 10 of hearts in the Jupiter column, which is a great column to be in. Very blessed life. A lot of actors, entertainers, performers coming out of this card because of that Jack of clubs. The Jack to play both sides. Jack is number 11, so it's 2 individuals creating partnership. So there is some possibility for dishonesty in this card or acting. Really great Mercury card, really great childhood generally, with a lot of attention, right in the middle of the spread again. Kind of a fixed love life, probably really fixed ideals about what love should look like in their Venus period. Their Mars period, they're probably super passionate about, learning for themselves, finding love for themselves, finding that self-love really, or what they love to do. A lot of Aries energy here. Jupiter, Ace of Diamonds, gifted at starting businesses, gifted at creating new ways of making money, gifted at being alone as well, which is funny because as a 10, you're usually in the thick of things. So they do have this gift where they could be okay being alone. Saturn card in life is the Queen of Diamonds. Any Queen of Diamonds is, prone to overspending at times. That could happen if you're out a lot. She wants to be known as being rich. She wants to show off things, but at the end of the day, she's really good in business. And she may be too proud about, her things, acquiring things. So there's a lot of internal mastery around Queen of Diamonds that needs to be done for the 10 of hearts. Uranus, 5 of clubs. Neptune, 3 of clubs. The 5 of clubs is going to give them this unpredictability in Uranus with discovering new forms of love, new partners. It could also bring an unpredictable divorce later in their life. And the 3 of clubs, 3 of clubs, first of all, is a worry card. They worry all the time. They have to tell you about it. There's indecision in what they think, but it's also a Neptune for them. Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. It's also Neptune for them. So Neptune is our hopes and our dreams. So for them, there's probably a lot of worry going on there. A lot of things for them that they need to try to line up this 3 of clubs into an antenna, download messages that they're resonating with to try to calm this mind. And it's a 3, it's a Gemini, so it's kind of a triple influence there. All right, so what that means, like with the 10 of Hearts week, really, is there should be a lot of love going on. There might be a lot of socializing. Be careful of some dishonesty or acting from others, but everyone should feel this love. It's in Jupiter. It's a good thing. You just don't want to overdo it. That's the 10. The 10 is successful when they don't overdo it and they stay efficient in the resources that they have, available to them. All right, Jack. Jack is 11. Jack is 1 + 1 = 2, so it's a great partner, a master partner, really, because it's a court card. And you have to look at each of the jacks. Some of the jacks, like the Jack of Spades, is the one-eyed jack, which means he points away from consciousness. Jack of Clubs could play both sides of an argument. All jacks are represented by 11 pips, which geometrically represent Metatron's cube, which Metatron's cube in sacred geometry basically contains all the blocks of the shapes and the blocks of life. They can destroy and rebuild. They're super creative. They also have a huge need for freedom as well. So jacks are also tough in relationships. Big freedom people. Some of them have no boundaries because they're able to play both sides of an argument. They also can create both sides and see that, like, they're not doing anything wrong in some cases. 12 is our Queen. So Queen is represented by 12 pips, a perfect 3x4 grid, 4x3 or 3x4, whatever way you want to represent it. So Queens are also represented by the Golden Spiral, which creates a ratio of 1.618. So there's perfection in the Queen. This is found in nature everywhere. Seashells, you could overlay it over paintings. Flowers grow this way. And when we think of any Queen, we think of internal mastery, embodying that leadership by example. They're elegant, they're proud, they're perfectionistic. They are 1 + 2, so they are the ace plus the partner or the helper equals 3, which is an artist or a creator. So she's a master creator, being in the court. They're the mother of hearts. They're the mother of knowledge in the spread. And when you look at Queens in the past life spread, look at the Queen of Clubs. She is in the middle of the spiritual spread. She's where the 10 of Diamonds is in this world. So when we think of Queens, they really excel in the spiritual world. Queen of Clubs, most blessed card in the spiritual world. Queen of Spades in the court, in the Sun card spot of the deck. That's where the 8 of Diamonds is. These people kind of look down at the spread differently. They don't have to abide by the same rules. So you have Queens who, they're the kings in the spiritual world, essentially. And I bring that up because when we look at kings they're 13 pips. They're 1 + 3, they're 4. So they are that strong structure that protects their kingdom according to their suit. but they're also represented by phi, which is the golden ratio. The symbol for 1.618 is phi. And so now you have the queen, which is 1.618, the king, and it's here to show you that there's duality here, that the kings are the rulers in the mundane world, in our current material world, and the queens are the kings in the spiritual world. And so they're just, they're two sides that, when you have the duality, it creates harmony, and it helps life be in peace and be in tune. So you could take a look at where the kings are in the mundane world. We have the King of Spades. He hasn't moved from the crown line. You have the King of Hearts, King of Diamonds in the Mars line. Mars Mercury, Mars Venus, good spots, although the King of Diamonds many times doesn't feel like he's in a good spot, but he is. And then the King of Clubs is in the Uranus spot, which is a very good spot. It's a friendship card, a friendship spot. It also rules all new technology, information. So, they rule this spread, and the queens rule this spread. So that's it kind of on the symbology of playing cards. Just wanted to go through that. If you wanted to read more about that, go to my Substack. I write even more in depth than that. All the articles are pretty much free, and if you join, I also offer free readings for you throughout the year. I'm planning to do a lot more with that to help you guys out and analyze your spreads. I use the software that basically can bring you down to the day of the week to see what your cards are, but basically we'll start with your yearly spread, your life spread, and we could drill down to 7-week and weekly. It's great for your work, your relationships, investing, finances, if you should move, for your health, if you should get surgeries, if your dog should get surgery. So a lot of stuff we can do with it. All right, thanks guys.